Hey guys, and welcome back to the GameSpot stage here at E3 2016. I'm Mary, and I'm going to be your host for the next 2 full hours, and I'm delighted to be joined by my very best friend and GameSpot review editor, Peter Brown.
What an introduction.
I know, there's nothing better for you. And the community manager for Bungie, this is Dague. Nice to have you guys here. Thank you.
Nice to be here.
And obviously, we're going to have to start this off by talking about what everybody wants to talk about, which is Rise of Iron, the latest upcoming expansion for Destiny.
All of that is absolutely right. Yeah, Rise of Iron is a large expansion to the Destiny universe. It's coming out this fall, February 20th. We're telling new stories in new places where you'll be fighting new enemies, acquiring new weapons and armor, making your character powerful in new ways. This is something that we just revealed just prior to E3. We got to have a conversation with our community on Twitch, interviewed some of the developers who are also here with me at E3 as part of our Bungie away team, and we're really excited to be welcoming the Guardians back to Destiny to continue their adventures and evolve their characters in some brand new and exciting ways.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have been constantly working with the players to see and get feedback back and forth. And one of the main things that I'm sure you guys were very eagerly anticipating was the announcement of the Gallarhorn and bringing that back. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Is it going to be as powerful as it once was?
Well, the Gallarhorn will be actually even more powerful because its power levels are going to need to rise so that it can help the Guardians confront this new threat. They have an all-new enemy to fight. The Gallarhorn will be restored to its old prowess. It was one of the most iconic weapons in the first year of Destiny.
That's right.
And we're really looking forward to putting it back into the hands of the players. Every Guardian is going to forge their own Gallarhorn as part of a quest. So whereas they may be used to waiting for it to drop as a random reward in an activity, now it is something that it's a guaranteed virtue as the completion for a quest.
Now, tell me a little bit about the Plaguelands zone. What's it comparable to, and are there any new mechanics?
Yeah, the Plaguelands have a bunch of new surprises for players. It's a landscape that is forever transformed by the outbreak of a technological plague. The Fallen have discovered that force of technology. They're using it to twist their minds and their bodies in a bid to become machine gods. So the players of Destiny are going to infiltrate the Plaguelands, a zone that has for a long time been forbidden from exploration. So in Rise of Iron, we're welcoming them to go into that space. There are going to be all sorts of new ways to patrol the Plaguelands. There's going to be new public events, things that bring Guardians together who have never met before to enjoy a moment of action. New story missions, we have strikes, we have raids. Rise of Iron satisfies every player of Destiny with the infusion of new action and adventure across the entire spectrum of the player experience.
Now, do our new Fallen foes have any new moves that we should be aware of that current ones don't?
Yeah, they got some surprises up their sleeve. They fight in some interesting new ways. They die in some interesting new ways. We had a studio-wide playtest on Friday just before we came down to E3, which was great for me to really be able to put eyes on what we were going to be talking about, and lay hands on a controller and experience it myself. And it's always great when you're facing a new foe, because when something new catches your eye and something takes you by surprise, I mean, that's part of the Destiny player experience. They're supposed to be moments that surprise you. It's supposed to be relatable, but also packed with new and interesting things to, entertain and delight.
You guys have been working on expansions for a while now, and I'm curious, do you feel that you've sort of hit a stride where you understand what the player base wants and how to both deliver upon that and surprise them?
Yeah, I think definitely we walk and talk differently as developers than we did the first year of Destiny. Destiny was a very new thing for Bungie. We were certainly used to making first-person shooters and story-driven experiences, but we've never had a game that was this ambitious, with the scope and the scale and the persistent connectivity, the persistent character progression. We were delving into a lot of new things for us. And now that we understand who our audience is, now that we know who our audience is, and we know where we can listen to them and engage in conversation with them, certainly, there's a collaboration. We can take a lot of inspiration from them. We inspire them to do awesome things. They inspire us to do awesome things. In terms of hitting a stride, I mean, this is the 4th expansion in just under 2 years. So we've delivered pretty frequent content updates. Of course, any player of a game that truly loves that game wants more content all the time. We'd love to be able to satisfy that urge, but at the same time, we want to create things that we think are worthy of the passion and enthusiasm that they've invested into the game, that we've invested into creating that world for them to explore. So it's a healthy balance. we have people who create experiences like Rise of Iron that tell new stories and expand the boundaries of the world of Destiny. We also have a live team, and they're constantly giving players fresh reasons to come back to the game. Limited time events, even if it's just things that we did like in April, where it was like new gear sets, new playable activities, bringing new features online. We've got this chroma system now where your armor can glow in different colors. It's not just about kicking ass and making stuff blow up. It's about a game that is enabling your own creative expression. Because the character that you create is an expression of who you feel you would be as a hero in this world.
I look at the equipment sets and I look at my friends who play this game a lot, and one of the things that they're very attracted to are the armor, and the weapons that they get. And I look at those things, and the design is so distinct compared to a lot of other games. Destiny is very fashionable in that sense. I feel like I want to know more about how you go about designing these things, and maybe when something has taken the design a little bit too far. Like, how do you actually define this fits the Destiny visual style, or this is redefining the Destiny visual style?
I think creating a character and making that character powerful and making that character unique is an enormous component of the player fantasy. So the art team takes a look at the archetypes that we want to create. At a glance, you can take a look at different players of Destiny, and you can say, this warlock that is adorned in Iron Banner gear looks like a heraldic knight. They're a champion of the Crucible. This hardcore raider looks like it's wearing the teeth of an enormous final boss. This person is a hardcore raider. This person is decked out in the color scheme of a faction. So either you really love to wear black, or you're interested in the Dead Orbit lore, sort of like this nihilistic spacefaring desperation. So what we want to do is we want to give players an opportunity to create a character that they feel reflects their imagination. And then also provide evidence and signposts to the other players of the game is like, at a glance, looking at me, you know what I love. I can even equip my favorite weapon on my back in the social spaces. So I always walk around with a big belt-fed heavy machine gun on my back so that people know I'm not about precision. I need all the bullets.
But even specifically, I look at the Gallarhorn, and it's got so many different facets to it. It's so intricately designed. Like, how many iterations did you go through when designing that one?
Oh, God. I mean, we actually have welcomed some of the concept artists onto the stream, and what would happen is they would have an initial concept. Someone takes that initial concept and they literally do a paint over, and they're like, this rocket launcher looks beautiful and it's ornate and it's awesome and it's definitely like an iconic weapon that I would love to add to my arsenal, but I'm going to put a lot of wolves on it. So it's definitely a collaborative experience. Everything starts with that spark of creative inspiration. It starts with an idea and a sketch, then it becomes a hard surface 3D model, and then we go in and we add the color and the sparkle and the shine and all of the things that really make it the finished product. Then you slide that thing over to the sandbox team. They take that and they say, and a weapon this beautiful, a weapon this iconic with these gilded figures and these wonderful accents, this needs to be amazing. So we're going to fill it up with Wolfpack rounds. So this thing's going to be a cluster bomb launcher,
Now, speaking of weapons, will there be any new weapons in the game that haven't been in any other games previously? Something brand new?
Absolutely, yeah. We have all new armor sets, all new weapon sets. There are going to be new exotic weapons. There are going to be plenty of things to add to your inventory, to stow in your vault. That's essentially the reward for the action that you'll find in Destiny. Is you get new things, you add that to your inventory. Those things make you more powerful. They change the way you fight. We're going to have new ways for Guardians to feel powerful and to affect the way the combat sandbox works. New perks, new tactical abilities. So that's the Destiny player experience. You go out, you complete your missions, you defeat your enemies, you get awesome rewards that make you feel like you're evolving and you're becoming this legendary figure in the game.
Now, there's also been already a raid confirmed. Is there anything that you can tell us about this raid?
Raid confirmed. So we are facing off against the Fallen. The Fallen Devil Splicers are the enemy in Destiny Rise of Iron. They have burrowed deep into the old Golden Age vaults that are deep beneath old Russia, and they've found this terrible technology. We need to infiltrate their enemy stronghold and hopefully destroy the source of their power once and for all. So it delivers that raid promise. You're going to need a fire team of 6 players. Those players are going to need to do more than just show up. They're going to need to communicate. They're going to need to problem solve together. Raids are mysteries, mysteries that are solved by new teammates and old friends. And the less we tell people about the raid, the more the payoff, the greater the payoff is.
Now, you are now going to have about 3 social spaces. How does Bungie balance all these different social spaces, and what kind of makes you motivate players into going into the new one?
Well, the Fellwinter Peak is the new social space. So that is the abandoned outpost that was once inhabited by the Iron Lords. They're these old legendary figures that used to defend humanity in ancient times. They all sacrificed themselves in the original confrontation with this technological plague that is the major threat that you'll find in Rise of Iron. Different social spaces in the game serve different purposes, especially through your progression through the Destiny story. The first place you arrive at is the tower. You know, it's this bright, hopeful place. It's all polished, beautiful banners hanging from the ramparts.
It's motivating.
It's motivating, right? Like, you know that this may be a post-apocalyptic game, but there's still a world worth defending. Humanity's still in a pretty decent place underneath this mysterious benefactor.
Right.
Later on with the House of Wolves, we'd opened up the Reef. A lot more utilitarian, very industrial. It was a spaceport occupied by, the Awoken, who was sort of like removed themselves from human society. And that was a different mood for us to strike.
It felt like an underground bunker. It was very different from like the buildings, which is more of like a hope feel. This was more of a there's a lot of work to be done still.
Yeah, almost like a pirate port or something like that. Like you're out there on the outskirts. And we had some different experiences there. Like that's where you participate in the Prison of Elders. That would be where you go back out on the Awoken's quest for revenge against the Fallen. With Rise of Iron, we have a whole new feel. This is an abandoned place. In fact, your first step, like when you arrived at the tower, it was like, hello, welcome to the tower. This is your ghost. This is your vault. When you first arrived in the Reef, there was sort of this ambivalence. The non-player characters were kind of glad to see you.
Right.
When you arrive at Fellwinter Peak, you will be immediately attacked.
Okay.
Because it has been infiltrated by our enemy.
Yeah.
And their first step in creating this new social space is to capture it, to reclaim it.
Okay.
These are where the monuments to the Iron Lords exist. This is where Lord Saladin, the sole surviving member of the Iron Lords, has kept their memories alive. And as all of the Guardians are welcome to become Iron Lords themselves, step 1 is to claim that outpost and set it up as a base of operations. From there, we launch off on this new story that sends you deep into the Plaguelands to figure out what happens there.
Sounds like there's still a lot to be uncovered here, and I just got one more question for you. Is there going to be a collector's edition?
We're not making a collector's edition. Certainly the Iron Gallarhorn, which is a different variant of the Gallarhorn. It's beautiful, black and silver. Walks like a Gallarhorn, talks like a Gallarhorn, but it's just, in my opinion, just a little sexier. And you can get that if you pre-order Rise of Iron before we launch. But we are having one version of Rise of Iron that people can buy on Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
And that is available September 20th, is that right?
This is absolutely correct.
All right, thanks a lot, Dague. So you heard it right here. You're going to see Rise of Iron available on September 20th for PS4 and Xbox One. And you guys don't go anywhere. We have a lot more coming up. And we're going to be talking to Psionics. We have a lot of really good interviews coming up. So don't go anywhere. You stay right here and stay tuned to GameSpot.
You're watching the GameSpot stage, brought to you by Airheads.